There is a new earth energy that is emerging on the planet that most people are not even aware of. And this new earth energy, it is said from these different sources that I'll be sharing information from, it is said that now more than ever before on the planet, it is time to get in the energy that you prefer to experience, because there is a form of an old paradigm that is collapsing and a new level of consciousness, a new energy that is emerging. Now, I know this sounds very esoteric if you've never heard of this new earth energy before, and it's something that has been talked about in that of Eckhart Tolle, that of Dolores Cannon's books, which are all different hypnosis sessions from thousands of people all over the world where their subconscious mind comes through. That of the Law of One, some of the most profound channelings of our time. And it's called the harvest. The new earth, you could say, in the Law of One is called the harvest, which is this harvest where there is the ripening of a new level of consciousness on the planet. And in a way, a releasing of the old energy, kind of like a clearing of the crops of the old energy. And then that of Bashar has talked about this. This is something that since 2012, when I went through my spiritual awakening, I was very much focused on all of this, because deep down when I was reading the books of Dolores Cannon, I felt like there was some form of purpose there. There was something that really rang true to me. And in this video, I want to talk about the 5 things you must let go of to be in the new earth energy. So there are certain things you do that will keep you into the 3D perspective, that will keep you kind of lost in the matrix. And there are certain things you can do and give up to then be in the new earth energy. And what I wanted to start off by doing is reading a few quotes from Dolores Cannon's book, The 3 Waves of Volunteers, and the New Earth, is what it's called. And she, by the way, didn't necessarily write her books as much as their transcripts from people that were in QHHT hypnosis sessions, which they were in a certain brainwave activity, their subconscious mind would come through and they would say things, and there was very consistent things that would be said from people all over the world who did not know each other. Now, to understand why you might be watching this video and what your purpose may be, let's look at this quote. This says, "The ones who are prepared to see the changes and not crumble in the fear will be the pillars on which others will learn when nothing makes sense to them. It doesn't mean you will provide the truth to them. It just means that you're not falling down like they are." So imagine with all the chaos happening in the world, with all the reaction that is happening, imagine that then they look to someone that understands there's this new earth energy emerging. They're in a different level of consciousness, and in a way, just by being that grounded sense, it actually adds value to the other people so that they can also be in this new level of consciousness. So it's about understanding as well that a lot of this process that people are going through this is a natural evolution that had to happen so that our planet did not destroy itself. That's one thing it talks about in the 3 Waves of Volunteers in the New Earth. It talks about how we heard the call. If you're watching this video, then most likely you heard the call, because you cannot perceive which you are not the vibration of. And deep down, souls that heard the call, which is probably honestly many of us. I know sometimes there's this spiritual ego that can emerge in the spiritual community, because it's like all these people are asleep, people aren't aware who they are, and then it's like this sense of like they're asleep and I'm awake. And deeper than that though, what happened is, in a way, in the early 1900s, when we were exploring as a collective consciousness nuclear bombs, it was literally rippling out into the universe. And there was a timeline we were on where we were literally going to destroy itself. So what it is said that happens, and by the way, this is something the Law of One also mentions as far as the logos or the energy of planet Earth, is a consciousness in of itself that we are connected to. And in the Law of One, it talks about this as well, as the different logos, as the different planets have different streams of consciousness. There's like different levels to it. Now what happens is there was an energetic call that was put out where souls that had been incarnated on Earth before had decided they wanted to help save the timeline of Earth because it was going to destroy itself. And now the rule with our reality is we have free will here. As a collective consciousness, we're allowed to do what we choose to do, even destroy ourselves, but we are not allowed to affect other reality systems. And that is because when a nuclear bomb goes off, it affects and ripples out into the universe, and it doesn't just affect us. This is what it says in Dolores Cannon books, by the way. This isn't just my subjective opinion. It is more of the information that has come through hundreds, if not thousands of people from all over the world in a subconscious hypnosis state. So what it said is there was a call that was put out, and souls that had incarnated on Earth before in many different lifetimes, who had kind of maybe even moved on to other reality systems, had decided to come back knowing it was going to be challenging, knowing it was going to be hard, knowing that they were going to have to go through the process of completely forgetting who they are to then remember who they are. So what many of us may have done is gone through that process. And when I read about this in 2012, I remember feeling some level of truth to that. Now, the first thing that you must let go of in that of the old earth energy and the new earth energy is you must let go of that of the imbalance in the bottom three chakras. Now, this comes from that of the law of one. And in the law of one, or what is called the raw materials, it talks about how we all have these different rays, these different energies inside of our body. And when you think of the root chakra, which has to do with safety, feeling grounded in this reality, when you think of the sacral plexus, or the sacral chakra, you can think of that of your connection to your family, sexuality, creativity, and then the solar plexus, which is your willpower and your purpose. Right now, what we're seeing on the planet is everything on the news, everything in the media. What it does is it keeps you in fear and anger. It keeps you imbalanced in these bottom three chakras. It keeps you reactive to everything that's happening. And what it says in the law of one is that we must balance these bottom three chakras out to then move into the heart chakra. So if we don't balance out the bottom three chakras, we can't move into the heart chakra, and the new earth consciousness is involved with it, the opening of the heart. Now, also think about it like this: third dimension, 3D. It's all about duality. It's good, it's bad, it's light, it's dark, it's fear, it's anger, it's these energies of separation. If there was a catchphrase of it, it would be like separation and being asleep. And most of the things have been tailored in our reality to have it to where we are in reaction to everything that's happening. Reaction to the media. Here's another quote by Dolores from the book, The Three Waves of Volunteers. It says, the media and the movies are showing you their desperation as they insist in presenting to the masses information that is completely negative and fear-based. Subject matter such as murder, death, betrayal, attacks, and such that keep the consciousness focused on these matters, as opposed to portraying in the media images of hope and inspiration. But nonetheless, there are enough of these positive messages being broadcasted at this time, like that of a domino effect. They are no longer stoppable. There's a momentum with the power of the internet, where information is getting out there, where people are waking up more and more. And in the 3D mentality, it's all about being asleep, fear, anger. People are kept in lower vibrational states of consciousness. They don't remember who they are. The new earth energy is about moving and balancing out the bottom three chakras and moving into that of the heart chakra, of opening that of the heart. And when you open your heart, you feel more connected to your purpose. You feel more connected to other people. You literally realize that what you do to someone else, you do to another aspect of yourself. So you understand karma in a different level. And we're going to talk about that in a minute as well. Now, something I'll link at the end of this video as well is a guided meditation for the new earth energy. It's a meditation I made that will show you, and you just listen to it, and you will balance out the bottom three chakras and move into your heart chakra. I was very passionate about making this because there's so many people asking me about it. So this new earth energy that we are living in, that we have the potential to be in, is about understanding that we came here to evolve to this next level of consciousness. Now, one of the things it talks about in both the law of one with the harvest and by the way, the harvest, one thing that it says about the harvest is that the harvest is almost like seeds have been planted. And now on the planet, there's an opportunity for souls and spirits and people to evolve to the next level of consciousness. And the idea is that not every seed is going to wake up, and that's okay. This is something where we realize, what are we doing? How are we showing up? Are we living our life purpose? And are we observing the chaos that's happening in the world? Now remember that quote at the beginning. Observing and mastering observation of what is happening without feeling reactive to it is one thing you must give up, is the drama of the 3D. The drama of the 3D is very easy to get tied into. I know even watching the news, watching things that's happening, it's very easy to look at that and to be like, oh my God, all this stuff is happening. And even to feel fear and to be like, what can I do about it? And one of the best things you can do is to remain grounded, is to remain in your own body, is to observe what's happening, but not necessarily feed it with negative energy. This also comes from an esoteric concept that I've shared in other YouTube videos that has to do with thought forms. Mass thought forms, where when many people are focused on one thing, it fuels an energy towards that outcome. And if you fight it, you feed it. If you agree with it, you feed it. And I believe, and what it talks a little bit about in Dolores Cannon materials, is that there are certain people that are incarnated at this time that are kind of playing the old 3D energy because it's giving us the opportunity to wake up in this reality. There are people that have to play that control old power dynamic. So it's interesting looking at it because it's so often this perspective of they're doing this to us and we need to wake up and all of this, but they're also playing their part. They're giving us this opportunity to see, can we elevate to a higher level consciousness in mass with many people waking up? So this energy of what is happening on the planet, there's a certain energy that's playing itself out, the media and these different things that may be controlled. But what we can do is observe it from a neutral place and not feed the pendulum of it. When there's certain things that happen in the media and the news, there's a lot of energy being set to different places on the planet with different intentions. By observing it, we remain in our power. By being in our own hearts, so that when people look around, they look to us as a pillar for people that are centered in understanding that one of the best things we could do is to remain centered in our heart. So a big part of this process of transformation is really going inwards for yourself. Because all the outer is anyway. We talk about the new earth energy. If you want to experience the new earth energy, understand it's a level of consciousness. It's not a physical place you're going to go. It's not like the rapture, where you wake up or you're walking around one day and then your just clothes drop and you just appear into a different reality. You're naked and you're looking around and you're like, why am I naked? Oh, everyone else is naked. I guess this is normal. This isn't shifting to literally a new earth in the sense that it's some physical location that's in a different star system. The new earth is literally a new level of consciousness that's emerging, that when you perceive of reality through that new earth energy, you will experience the synchronicities, the people, the opportunities in your life that reflect that new earth energy back. But if you stay tied to the old by not letting go what we're talking about in this video, you will stay tethered to the past, tethered to the drama, tethered to the control factions on the planet. And that's why it's very important to reel in your own energy, reel in your own power, and understand the process of that. So observing things that happen from a neutral place, understanding this is all part of a plan, but the plan is to wake up. Like a lot of people look into the media and they're starting to question things. People in my family who watched media their whole life, like grandma and stuff, they're like questioning things. They don't believe even what they see in the media half the time now, which is crazy. I used to be the weirdo that was like, yeah, I don't watch the media for this reason. And they're like, whoa, what do you mean? It's what's happening in the world. It's like it's 99.9% of everything you've ever seen on the news ever is completely negative. And we don't question that. Isn't that crazy? It's like everything is negative. Like, imagine you had a friend, and every time you talk to this friend, all they would say is, did you see at the park? There was someone at the park that had a knife, and this thing happened over here. And did you see, oh my God, there was this thing that happened like 3 weeks ago. I saw it when I was on the Las Vegas Strip, and there was like a homeless person, and then this thing happened, and the person yelled at them, and then it was like this loud noise, and then and it's just a constantly negative, and then other people are like, yeah, Aaron, listen to that person. That's what's happening in the world. And they're like, yeah, you're right. That's what's happening. It's such a small sliver of what's happening. You want to know what's really happening in the world? There's a consciousness shift that is happening in the world, and most people aren't even aware of it. It's happening right now. The ancients have known about it. Mystics have known about it. The Law of One, Eckhart Tolle, Dolores Cannon, all these other things are pointing to it. And most people are like, oh my God, did you see the person at the park that yelled at this person? Where are we putting our energy? Now, the next thing, the third thing you must give up in order to shift to the new earth is what is called in the Law of One, it says 51% service to others. Now, I want to clarify this because some of you listening to this might be empaths, people that can feel other energies. Like, yes, I'm always doing things for everyone anyways. But what this means is this comes with an acknowledgement, I believe, that it means tapping into your own purpose, and then also understanding that what you do to someone else, you literally are doing to another aspect of something you're connected to. So that's why it's about clearing karma. It talks about in Dolores Cannon materials, that as far as clearing karma. And clearing karma is about remembering and becoming aware of the patterns in your life. It's cause and effect. When you become aware of why you're doing certain patterns and what certain shadows may be within yourself, and you're owning it, it's a very powerful way of bringing that unconscious into the conscious and clearing that energy. But 51% service to others. Now, a lot of the stuff you're seeing on the planet right now, it is all self-focused. It's narcissism. It's control. It's this energy of contraction. And when we have an intention of adding value, like on my YouTube videos, for example, I've always believed that the more value I add out into the world, the more abundance comes back to me, but also the more I'm fulfilling my life purpose. Because literally you, even though we both appear to be separate, we're connected. We're one consciousness. We're just peering life through different lenses, different 3D avatar bodies, but at the fundamental core, we're all connected. So a very powerful way, by the way, to clear energy and to let go of the karma is a process called Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono is an entire process that I've made videos about before that has to do with 4 simple statements. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, and clearing the energy in your field. Even if something happened to you, it's still responsive from your field. And there is amazing experiments of what happens in your energy field when you repeat these 4 simple statements. So letting go of karma, letting go of the positionalities of you did this to me, letting go of the blame, letting go of the shame, the fear, and the guilt. And a very powerful way to do that is using the process of I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I have videos about that. I'll link as well at the end of this video in the description box. I have a friend that went to like a biohacking thing where they were in a pod and it was measuring their brainwave activities. And one of the things they would do is Ho'oponopono, and they said it would completely change the neural connections in the brain. Forgiveness is a huge part of it. You got to let go of your resentments to be a new earth. Because otherwise you carry it with you, and the lens through which you see won't be new earth energy. It'll be the reflection of the past, the betrayal. This happened to me. And a way that you can work on that process, because that could be a whole 3-4 videos right there. But I have a whole video on Ho'oponopono that talks about the science behind it, talks about the experiments that were done with it. And it gets also a little bit deeper onto what is reality. Because as you change, you will notice people change around you. People say, what do I do to help people shift to the new earth? By you embodying the new earth energy, it will gravitate people to you, to that level of consciousness as a pillar. You don't need to go around with picket signs saying, new earth energy, new earth energy. You don't need to go door to door and say, would you like to join the New Earth Energy? This isn't some religion. This is a level of consciousness. Now, the fourth thing that you have to let go of to be in the 5D New Earth Energy is you have to let go of the past. The past patterns, a lot of it childhood energies that are keeping you in shame, fear, guilt, and anger. And really the past self, because the 3D self is probably an identity in of itself. I know for myself, when I went through my awakening in 2012, I remember there was this 3D version of me that was drinking and smoking and kind of lost. And then I started meditating, and there was this new level of presence inside of me. But for a while, it was hard to let go of that because the people that I was connected to, it felt so familiar and comfortable. There was an afraidness. I went through a period of definitely like feeling more lonely, feeling more like didn't have as many friends that understood me. But that was part of the process, was letting go of that past, letting go of believing I have to drink and do all of these things because I always have in the past. It's letting go of the old 3D you. Now, one thing we will be doing, by the way, is a 21-day challenge in January for tapping into the New Earth Energy. It's 21-day New You Challenge. We're going to be looking at letting go of the past self, the familiar self. We're going to be looking at activating our highest timeline. We're going to be looking at activating the New Earth Energy and letting go of the duality, letting go and balancing out the bottom 3 chakras. These are things that we're going to be doing. And if you want to join, you can go right now or click the link in the description box below or go to www.21daynewuchallenge.com. And that's what we're going to be doing. So join now if you're seeing this and you want to be a part of it. Thousands of people will join from all over the world, and it will be a lot of fun as well, connecting to group energy. So letting go of the old self, though, is an important part of the process of embodying the higher vibrational frequency that you came here to embody. So understand that this is an entire process that you can go through by simply committing to that. Now, the last thing you must let go of in order to move into this 5D energy that is here on the planet right now is you must let go of these stories that you have around who you are that are keeping you stuck in the familiar past, but also the familiar disempowerment. Very often, when it comes to this kind of information, everyone is waiting for things to happen. People are waiting for us to be saved. They're waiting for things and money to be redistributed. I remember back in 2012, this was actually a thing, believe it or not. People believed that like money was going to be distributed to people that were good and all of this stuff, and people were waiting. And you being bold and you living out your purpose of being who you came here to be is an important part of this process, and it will help other people awaken. But stop waiting. Stop waiting for the right information or the right call or the right whatever. For a long time, I waited for 2 or 3 years before I got on YouTube sharing my message. I've known about this information since 2012 about the New Earth, but I was waiting for things to happen, just meditating at my house. And I don't believe that we came here to just meditate in a cave. We came here to interact with each other and to do this together. But to do that, we have to let go of the savior complex that someone's going to come back and save us. We have to let go of just watching passively everything being done. This is not a passive we didn't come here to watch it. We came here to participate in it. And you have to let go of that mentality. Have to let go of that savior complex. Have to let go of the stories that go along with why you're staying limited where you are. Because remember, the new earth is happening. It's happening now. It's a level of consciousness. And the degree to which you tap into your own power is the degree to which you will perceive of the new earth energy. So I highly recommend you become aware of this energy within yourself. This level of consciousness that's here right now. Observe the things that are happening in the media. Be grounded within your own frame of reality. Understand what you put out is what you get back. Take responsibility for what's in your own energetic field. Clear out the bottom 3 chakras and understand that as you do, you open up the golden, what is it called? The golden petal lotus in your heart to open. And the more you do this, the more transformation you will experience in your life and the more people you will bring to you. One thing that asking Dolores Cannon sometimes is, can I bring people with me? What about my dog? What about this? What about that? This is about level of consciousness. This isn't a physical location. However, people will fall out of your life as you go through this process because you will be in a new frequency, and it's okay. It's okay. Maybe they fall out for a while, then they see what you're doing, and then they come up to speed. But people in the Dolores Cannon books were sometimes like, what if I want to stay with the people in the 3D earth to help them? Very noble of you, but the way you're going to help them is by being in the frequency that allows that energy to come into your body and into this planet, and then you give them a signpost of something they go towards. So understand that this is a process of you embodying the energy, and that is the best thing that you can do. Now, there is a meditation on clearing the bottom 3 chakras and getting into the new earth energy. I do recommend you listen to it for 21 days to anchor this inside of your reality and within the collective consciousness. And you can check out this video right here.